Hello everybody and welcome back to Will a Wonderful World for episode 14. Now it's been a little while since I've been in this game, so I don't remember exactly what all went down in the last episode. I do remember that Chang had to donate some blood, and so did Kang as well, to save one of their partners working on Unit 4. We did just get new letters for Alicia and Chang to further their stories, so hopefully we'll get to see what happened after he donated the blood, to see if this girl makes it, and to see how things go between him and Kang, because their relationship has become a little rocky now. Also, we get to see what's going on with Alicia and her fucking being an expert marksman now and working with the gangs. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But first, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here to Lee Win and Rocky's letters to see if I can get them better endings. I want to get the S rank endings for them. Let's see here. I did get an S for Rocky, but I don't think I ever got an S for Lee Win. No, I did not. I still haven't figured that out. So, I'm about to sit down and fucking figure this out. Give me one moment. Okay, so going back through, I looked at the past history and the different outcomes that I've already had, and it seems to be this is a completely new setup than what I've tried before, so hopefully that will make things better. I'm assuming things won't change for Kang, or we won't even get to see his side of the story because we already got an S rank ending for her, but hopefully we'll get something new for Lee Win. Ah, yes, okay. Alright, good. We're making progress. Maybe this will be an S rank ending because I don't think there were any more X rank endings that I could find. The yogurt tasted kind of strange, or stranger than usual, I should say. Well, if it had gone bad, that would be actually great for me. I could just go hide in the infirmary with a stomachache as my excuse. With such a legitimate reason, nobody could say anything more. I held my breath and drank the whole cup. The art classroom was on the way to the infirmary. I couldn't help myself, so I sneaked up to the back door and tried to peek inside through the small glass window on the door. Rocky was sound asleep, drooling with his mouth open. It sounds like him. Jing was so focused. Mr. Win would be insane to tear up her sketch at this time. Mr. Win was standing with his back towards me, looking at Jing's sketch. He must have liked it to be looking at it so closely. I stood up on my toes and tried to see her sketch for myself, but he suddenly turned around. Thank God I crouched down just in time. However, the sudden movement must have caused my stomach to start hurting. It felt like it was a bad cramp, and it was getting worse and worse. I leaned against the door and crumpled. I felt like I was dreaming. In my dream, he was carrying me on his back and asking me where I wanted to go. Like a piggyback ride? Or I said I wanted to go see the rainbow on Shuanglong Mountain. Or Shuanglong, however you pronounce that. I heard that the rainbow was gorgeous there. He said okay. But Shuanglong Mountain, I'm gonna say Shuanglong Mountain was hard to get to. Even taxis wouldn't take us. So, Mr. Win kept carrying me on his back, and he kept running, and running. I fell asleep in the dream too. But, did we ever get to see the rainbow, or not? I don't know, it's your dream, not mine. Nevertheless, it didn't really matter. I just wanted the dream to last a little longer, and longer, and longer. So she seems to be absolutely infatuated by Mr. Win. Oh, we did get new letters. I will check out Alicia and Chang's first. Who did we get here? Ooh, one for Jimmy and one for Win. Ooh, that took a second to get down here. Okay, those are not connected. Those are individuals. So, like I said, we're going to come back over here to Alicia and Chang. See what's going on in their new letters. At the southeast corner of Hong Kong Island sat the largest and most secure prison in the city. Hong Kong Central Prison. I gave the guards at the entrance the name Warden Chris. They glanced at my stripper outfit, casually flipped through the stuff in my tiny handbag, and let me through. No one else was in the warden's office, except Chris. There was a radio placed next to the sofa. It was playing some unknown Latin music. Warden Chris's special hobby was likely the only weakness in this concrete fortress. He liked Latin music. Moreover, on the last day of every month, he would invite a young female dancer into his office. None of these girls had ever been seen again. So then, why are you here? Is it part of your gang work or whoever the hell you're working for? Some people had suggested that they might have gotten new identities to start new lives somewhere else. Others insisted that they were dead. In any case, that was the only information I'd managed to gather. The uncertainty made the mission tonight a little risky. Nevertheless, it was the only way for me to approach him. So, she's on a mission. I ignored the warden's leering looks and started dancing to the music. I didn't know the song, but the familiar melody still made me feel nostalgic. For a brief while, I felt like I was back in Mexico. I could imagine myself strolling down the street of the lovely Cotepec, bathing in the warm sunshine, and waving hello to everyone, saying Buenos dias. I extended my hand towards the warden and shot him a passionate and inviting look. He grabbed my hand. I felt a sudden pain in my stomach. I had to run to the bathroom. For some reason, my stomach suddenly started hurting. It gave me a bad feeling about tonight. If I proceeded with the mission, it was probably not going to end smoothly. Or go smoothly, I should say. My instincts had never been wrong before. A few minutes later, I escaped through the bathroom window, just completely aborted. Never force yourself when you're feeling uncertain. I mean, yeah, that's good to go by, but maybe you still could have done it. Ray had taught me that. However, Warden Chris had already seen my face, which meant that I couldn't attempt this mission anymore. But even if we sent someone else, it would be much riskier to follow the same strategy. I screwed up, Ray. Alicia. Well, you didn't screw up that bad. I mean, you aborted the mission, but at least you didn't get hurt or end up killing the wrong person or go missing. Something. Officer Ji-Yan was still in the hospital. Meanwhile, Officer Min-jin had not shown up to work for a few days either. Lieutenant Kang had mentioned that he had been absent for health reasons. So, he and I were the only active members of Unit 4 at the moment. We were in room 403 of the Sunshine Apartments, but there was no sunshine at all. The room had no furniture except a fridge, a microwave, a simple gas stove, and some bowls and dishes that had not been used in a long time. The thick window shades had blocked all the light out for months too. The whole room smelled like mold. However, it was a perfect location for surveillance. I quickly set up the telescope and pointed it out a window in the middle of the third floor of the opposite building. I could see through the telescope that a full-figured woman was having breakfast. Her lover was a drug dealer in the Yusong team of the Musun gang, who oversaw the transportation of all of their goods. He was also an important suspect in a murder case from a few days ago, and he hadn't been seen in the past few days. This was my first time partnering with Lieutenant Kang. I had not been in Unit 4 for long, but I had come to learn that it was nothing like the rumors that I had heard. Unit 4 didn't have a lot of people, but it had an abundant talent. An amazing marksman, a master of transfiguration, not to mention the lieutenant himself, who was a hidden beast. Lieutenant Kang had told me the truth about what had happened to him during our fight after Officer Ji-Yan was stabilized. He told me that I had met his other personality, named Yang Yan. He was a different person altogether. Wait, like some split personality shit? What is going on with people's mental states in this games? There's Jimmy, who's a little bit of a stalker. Park's going crazy, forgetting who he is or what's going on there on that end, and he's getting molested, to put it mildly, on his side of things. And now we've got Officer Kang, or Lieutenant Kang, sorry, that got split personality? What is going on? Holy shit, okay. Yang Yan was very violent, and he didn't have access to Lieutenant Kang's memories. Therefore, for the safety of his colleagues, he would usually only go on solo missions. I couldn't believe it at first. I had suspected that Lieutenant Kang was just yanking my chain because he didn't trust me yet, and he didn't want me to know the true source of his strength. However, when I later went to visit Officer Ji Yeon, she had told me about her own experience when she first joined the unit, including the same story about the lieutenant. That was when I finally realized it was all true. Multiple personalities were not common, so the lieutenant had always kept it to himself, especially about where it had came from. In any case, this small quirk didn't stop me from feeling closer to him. Although he was a weird person with a weirder temper, he cared about us deeply. Just the other day, he had gone screaming at Unit 3 because their men wouldn't shut the bathroom door properly, and it was making my seat smelly. It was so awesome. It was making your seat smelly? Like, the... What? Okay. Oh, I'm assuming he means, like, he has to sit near the bathroom, and so he smells it, I guess. As for the rumor about how no one wanted to join Unit 4, that was a total lie. They must have all just been sent away by the lieutenant, because they had been too weak. Yes, that must be the case. This is my first surveillance mission since joining the force. The more I thought about getting to be with the lieutenant alone for the next few days, the more excited I felt. I wondered if he would be willing to spar with me. Actually, how about now? Lieutenant Kang, would you like to exercise a little? Beep, beep. The doorbell buzzed untimely. I opened the door and a young woman was standing outside. She said she was a freelance writer who lived next door. She saw that there was a new neighbor, so she wanted to come by and say hello. The writer then asked me what we did. She kept asking me a lot of other random questions. There were so many that I became completely lost. I liked beautiful women, but I couldn't handle them. Just as I was stuttering hopelessly, Lieutenant Kang came to the rescue. He explained to her that we were brothers, and we had just moved into the city. He was a journalist, and I was his little brother, who was a chef. I couldn't help but give him a look when I heard the last bit. After spending some more time with him, I learned that Lieutenant Kang, while extremely strict most of the time, also had lots of tricks up his sleeves too. The writer had not stopped ogling the lieutenant ever since she had first laid eyes on him. See, that was our lieutenant, attractive in every possible aspect. He quickly got rid of her, and then told me to keep a close eye on the room that we were watching before he left. He must have gone grocery shopping in preparation for the next few days. I used to hear Officer Min-jun tell stories about how they'd always had nothing to do but kimchi, or how they'd always had nothing, rather, but kimchi-flavored ramen. It wasn't particularly healthy, but as part of the mission, I was perfectly fine with ramen. Besides, I loved kimchi. Never had kimchi, but it does sound pretty good. However, 20 minutes later, all I could see in front of my eyes was an entire grocery bag of ice cream. Perfect stakeout food. My heart was bleeding. How did I forget that the lieutenant ate nothing but high-calorie junk food? Officer Min-jun must have bought that ramen himself. I sat next to the lieutenant and resigned myself to my fate. That was a nice little image here. Interesting jacket he's got on here. It's a little short on the arms, but I think that's intentional. Little Kang over here looking in his telescope. I kept an eye on the mistress while munching on the ice cream. I ate an ice cream cone while she was watching TV. I ate an ice cream cone while she was watering the flowers. I ate an ice cream cone while she was making lunch. I even ate one while she was taking a nap. While she was ice creaming? While she was eating ice cream, you were eating ice cream? Okay. When it was almost sunset, the ice cream was starting to make the ice cream for the night. And my ice cream began to rumble. Okay. I think that makes sense. Ice cream. Okay, yeah. Lots and lots of ice cream. Beep, beep. The doorbell buzzed at an inopportune time once again. I opened the door. It was the writer again. She was carrying a bag of groceries. You guys haven't eaten dinner, have you? Shall we eat together? I have some extra food. Oh, I've never met a neighbor like this. Usually, I mean, it wouldn't be that big of an issue, but if they're someone that's annoying, then yeah, it's gonna be an issue. Besides, I would really love to witness the chef's skills. She walked past me and went straight into the house. She changed into a pair of slippers while standing in the doorway and kept peeking around the room. I could tell that dinner was not her real purpose. However, my stomach full of ice cream had me on the edge of a meltdown. Looking at the bag of fresh vegetables and meats, I couldn't help but salivate over it. Wait a second. The chef? Was she referring to me? Well, Lieutenant, shouldn't you be responsible for your lies? Just as I was thinking about him, Lieutenant King came up to the doorway too. He slammed one hand onto the wall with a bang. At the doorway, Lieutenant King stared at the rider with a lustful look. Ugh. What a shame. We've just eaten. Oh, yes, what a shame. Sure, ice cream. Although, I usually go to bed later than my brother here. Wait, what? Who knew, or who between us always starts setting up his bed before 7 p.m.? Can I come over later? I'm not a bad cook myself. Who can cook a milkshake? Well, you could just take the stuff out of the fridge and set them aside for half an hour. To my surprise, the rider seemed really into the idea. In that case, I won't bother you now then. Well, goodbye, but leave the food. As for tonight, I don't sleep until later either. Or I don't sleep until late either. You're welcome to join me for a late night snack. You look so excited that I think you could go on for days without sleeping at all. At last, the rider finally left. I let out a long breath and went back to the window. Oh crap! The person at the bottom of the building was the drug dealer we'd been waiting for. He was about to take off. We rushed downstairs, but there was no sight of him anymore. For the next few days, we never saw him show up at his mistress's place. Considering that he had left in such a hurry, he probably wouldn't be coming back anytime soon. Mission failed. Changyang Min. Wow, so they got a mission failed for both of them. I'm not exactly sure. What are we going to be switching around here? He grabbed my hand, he slammed. Oh, okay. Ooh. What if things, I'm assuming things are going to go well for her. He just grabs her hand, things are going to go well, she's going to be able to kill him or, you know, whatever she's planning to do. I have no idea what's going to go on with Chang, except that he's going to run to the bathroom and then Lieutenant Kang could say anything. Really, I guess, but he probably would have said anything anyways, knowing him. Alright, we got a new ending for both of them. Let's see how this goes. Let me go first. The lieutenant rushed into the bathroom after me, and he stared at me with a threatening look in his eyes. Wait, what? I thought... Okay. Grr. Both of our stomachs were growling. It must be the ice cream. If I'd said no and just sat on the toilet, I might have gotten my chance to spar with the lieutenant in a second. But, never mind. I'd let him go first. I walked out of the bathroom meekly, and waited at the door, squirming. Back at the doorway, the rider had already left. She was like, oh shit, their bowels are fucking shooting out their ass. They can't. I don't know why that was so funny to me, I'm sorry. We continued our stakeout in the apartment for another week, but we never saw the drug dealer come to his mistress's home, so we had to cancel the surveillance. So things didn't go well for them at all. Had he noticed my fingernails? He grabbed me, but 4 years of assassin training had made me calmer than a normal person. However, my lack of reaction ironically gave me away. What? It didn't escape his eyes. Oh my god! He just fucking broke her arm. Twisted her left arm and broke it. 4 years ago, Ray had given me a second chance in life. Every day of life I had since then had been a gift from him to me. Oh, every day of life I had since then. Okay. I read it wrong in my head. Didn't make sense. I didn't know if anything had happened between him and Chris, nor did I care. I would never give anyone a chance to take advantage of Ray. I would rather die than give him up. I bit down, and the taste of bitter almonds exploded in my mouth. Oh, cyanide pill, okay. Interesting. Well, I thought things were going to go good for her. Things didn't go good for either of them. What if... he grabs his hand and then he runs to the bathroom? I don't know how this is. Okay, it's gonna be a different ending for both of them. Let's see what happens. I have no idea. It must be the ice cream. I sat on... Oh, why did they have to put the noise in? I sat on the toilet and let everything run its course. When I finally got out of the bathroom, both the writer and Lieutenant King were already gone. Not until later did I learn that while I was in the bathroom, the lieutenant had seen the drug dealer show up at the home of our surveillance target. He didn't want to interrupt me, so he had gone after the guy alone. In the end, the drug dealer eventually outran him after more than a dozen blocks. If I had gone with him, we would have been able to catch the guy for sure. Damn it, it was all the ice cream's fault. But, damn, I still don't know how things... Okay, I'll have to see what I can do on his side. Perhaps my passion had infected the warden too. He was beginning to get a different look in his eyes. There was something twisted and dangerous about that look. Feeling a little uneasy, I decided to make my move immediately so that I could complete the mission and protect myself before being exposed. Warden Chris suddenly began struggling to breathe. He fell to the ground, with grabbing at his own neck with his hand. His face turned to a dangerous purple color. He would never see the tiny scratch on the back of his neck that was killing him. Poison, maybe? Ooh! Is it gonna be like Holes? Oh my god, where she had fucking poison nail polish. Holy shit. I calmed myself. Took off the poisonous fake fingernails and the excessive dress. I knew it. And jumped out of the bathroom window. Alright, well things went fucking awesome for her. What if he grabs his hand after he goes to the bathroom? Is that gonna make any sort of difference? Whoa, that is actually going to make a difference. We'll have to see what happens there because I have no idea. Is he just going to grab him and yank him along anyways? I'm assuming. Let's see. Go! I barely pulled my pants up when Lieutenant King grabbed my arm, led me out from the bathroom and kept... Okay, sweet! S-rank ending for both of them, I'm assuming now. We ran into the drug dealer who was just leaving from the building on the opposite side of the street. He took a glance at Lieutenant King and immediately started running as soon as he recognized him. The guy was pretty fast. We ran after him for a few blocks before we finally trapped him in a small alley from both ends. The next day, in the interrogation room, he was very tight-lipped, refusing to answer any of our questions. After half an hour without any progress, Lieutenant King stood up and turned off the video camera. He went back to his seat and leaned closer to the table. He whispered to the guy, "How about we make a deal?" A deal? What kind of trick was Lieutenant King trying to play now? The guy was apparently as curious as me. He leaned forward, waiting to hear what the lieutenant had to say. Lieutenant King pulled out a switchblade. Whoa! He flicked it open and stabbed it into the back of the guy's left hand in one clean move. The guy screamed out loud, but he didn't move, worried about hurting his hand even more. I supposed even he was unwilling to risk his own life. He finally started talking while he shook in pain. If I answer your questions, are you going to recommend a lighter sentence? Lieutenant King smiled and pulled the knife out. He put it away without even wiping the blood off. After he gave us his statement, the dealer took off his jacket and threw it aside while cursing nonstop. That was when I saw the giant green python tattoo on his left arm. The lieutenant suddenly went quiet. I called his name more than a few times before he finally came back to himself. He stood up, patted me on the shoulder, and before he left the room, said to me, "He's yours now. Make him pay." Alright. So, I'm assuming maybe they were in the same gang? Interesting. I'm just assuming they were in the same gang because King decided to leave, and I'm assuming he was in a gang. God dang, with all Kang and gangs, oh my god. But anyways, I feel like something is going on there. I don't know. Anyways, let's see what we've got here. Let's see. We've got a black box. Disasters in Unit 4. If only I could do it again. Alright, well, I'm not going to do those letters just yet. Let's see what's going on. I guess we'll go with Jimmy. We'll see what's up with Jimmy. Ooh. He's got a different outfit here. Or at least a different stance. In the largest arcade of Mongkok. Time Reversal Cup. The Prince of Fighters 97 Nostalgia Tournament. A giant banner was hung inside of the arcade. The Time Reversal Cup had been the biggest tournament for classic fighting games in Hong Kong for a few years. It had also been an important source of income in my post-college independent life. After graduating from college last year, I had moved out of my parents' house and rented a 30 square meter studio with a standalone bathroom. I never knew that rent could be so expensive. I never understood why people would want to buy stuff on sale. I never realized that part-time jobs could barely pay anything. Not until I lost the financial support from my father and mother did I begin to appreciate the challenges of life. Yep, fucking relatable, man. Therefore, I must win the tournament. The prize money for winning the championship would be able to cover my expenses for another 3 months. I had arrived not too long ago, and I had been testing my machine. People were beginning to gather around, many of whom kept taking pictures with their phones. As the two-time defending champion, I had been placed directly in the semifinals, so I was expecting a little attention. However, today, I was feeling very suspicious about every one of those people. I was about to go hide in the bathroom for a little while before the match. Suddenly, a wave of excitement washed over the crowd. A small kid had just walked up to the machine opposite mine. He was in his school uniform, wearing a pair of glasses, and his hair was parted to the left side. The staff thought we didn't know each other, and started making introductions. "This is the primary school killer. You must have heard of him. He has no more rivals left in the Sim Sha Sui area. Last week, he challenged the entire North Key arcade. Nobody dared even say a word. I never thought that he would be my opponent today." I silently cursed all the gods and goddesses in my head. Then the punk held his thumbs down and made a face at me. The crowd booed loudly. The booing went right into my head, along with the history of our rivalry. "Now watch out, you punk. Big Brother is going to teach you a lesson for the sake of your parents." Like, actually, Big Brother? Or... Let me show you how to be polite and respectful to your senior. Okay, so yeah, I'm assuming that's his actual Big Brother then. My Yogami versus his Kusanagi, 2 games out of 3. In all honesty, our raw skills were mostly on the same level. But every time I played this kid, he would always be able to get into my head and mess up my inputs. I'd be thinking of a punch, but press a kick. Okay, so no, I don't think they're brothers then. He was just calling himself Big Brother for some reason. I was trashed in the first game, and I tried my damned best to win the second game. Here came the deciding game. Ooh. Oh, he's younger here, he looks like, at least. So maybe this is before he decided to go off to college, or whatever was going on. High school, rather. My bad. Before he graduated high school and was living with Rocky, I think. I'm assuming, I don't know. Here came the deciding game. The crowd had become wild. "Time to go to hell, you little punk." Hell. Hell. Hell! At this point, both of our HP were alarmingly low. Our special moves were both fully charged and ready to go as well. If either of us made a mistake right now, the other one would immediately land a combo and finish the game. I slightly wiggled my sweating right hand and feigned a retreat. The punk kid took the bait. His punch whiffed. Now's my chance. I commanded Yogami to jump behind him, ready to unleash the final combo. Gay Shiki Yori Ori 2B 5A 127 Shiki Akai Hana 1. Whoa, okay. Some crazy. After 2 consecutive Akai Hana, the opponent had just been thrown into midair. It was finally time to end this game with a desperation move. Joystick. More joystick. Hard punch. Ghostly purple flames appeared on Yogami's hands. Light pillars were bursting from the ground, one after another. So epic. Desperation move. Ura 108 Shiki Yo Sakazuki. God damn it. I feel like I sound retarded saying all that. Oh crap, that was the wrong move. It was an amazing move that could stun the opponent, but its only drawback was that it was also slow. Kusanagi quickly air-teched away from the pillars, nullifying my attack. Oh shit. The punk kid smiled behind his glasses. Kusanagi jumped on top of me and hit me right in the face. I was still in recovery from the previous move, so I couldn't defend myself. Kusanagi then kicked me into the air. Raging fire erupted in Kusanagi's right hand as he held it high. It then turned into a devouring firebomb while I was staring in shock and blew Yogami into the sky. KO! As Yogami kept flying upwards on the screen, my heart was sinking all the way into the ground. I'd lost. My prize, gone. I might have to borrow money from my father to cover the rent this month. He would once again try to persuade me to go to work at his company. Mother would then try to set me up on a blind date, forcing me to meet people who I had absolutely no interest in. Yet, I would have to pretend to smile the whole time. No. My dear goddess of fortune, please take me away from here. Jimmy. Well, Jimmy, I'll see what I can do. So, we should probably throw the hard punch. No, we'll throw the hard punch in the middle. See what happens here. Yogami stepped forward, leapt high into the air, and slammed Kusanagi onto the ground. Special move 127 Shikiawi. Shikiawi on a 3. Oh crap, that was the wrong move. Once the opponent was knocked onto the ground, the combo was terminated. But ending the combo with a special move was not power enough to KO him. I quickly readjusted the joystick, ready to follow up with a Yomi Burai to hinder his movement from a distance. However, my momentary hesitation had already decided the result of the game. Oh shit. The punk kid smiled behind his glasses. Unable to defend, I jumped on top of me, hit me right in the face, then kicked. Okay, so that's the same. Alright, really, this is just trial and error. What if he punches first? I don't know. There's only so many combos that we can do here. Hey! Yogami only threw a hard punch. Kusanagi jumped backwards and casually dodged the attack. Wait, where was my desperation move? I froze. The announcers froze. Even the audience froze too. I completely panicked. I couldn't even remember what to do anymore, and I just kept mashing at the joystick and the buttons. The punk kid, okay. Kicked me into the air. KO. Okay. So, what if we throw this down here on the bottom, but we switch the two joystick moves around? Maybe that will make a difference. Maybe that will actually pull out the desperation move and kick this little punk's ass. Yogami's hands morphed into a blur. He grabbed Kusanagi in the air and slammed him onto the ground. His attacks, fueled with every last drop of his power, washed over his opponent like an unstoppable waterfall. Kusanagi couldn't even hold his posture anymore. Desperation move, Kin, 1-2-11 Shikiyo Otome. KO. Yes! 3 months of expenses. See how it's done, you little punk? After the ceremony, I was about to duck out of the arcade quietly when the punk kid suddenly blocked my way. What? You want to look for a real fight now? Don't you know my fame of beating up both a senior home and a kindergarten on the same day? Why would you beat up a kindergartner? Why? Why would you do that? I quietly thought to myself. Oh, he quietly thought all of that to himself. Congratulations, mister. I bought you this newspaper as a special gift to you. I took the newspaper. It was some random tabloid. Cover page headline. Despicable. Hong Kong youth molested kid right in the street. What? What? What the hell was this? Yeah, what? Several months ago, I had beaten up the little punk primary school killer pretty badly in another casual tournament. Then a few days later, an article began circling on the internet about me taking off my pants on the street and mooning some little kid. There was even a picture to go with it. Yet, whether you judged it by the shape or by the percentage of body fat, that was not my butt in the picture. And the funny thing was, when I tried to remove the censor boxes from the picture through some technical magic, I realized that the kid in the picture was exactly this little punk. When had I ever had a picture taken with him? Besides, what kind of twisted mind would make up such a gross and embarrassing idea in the first place? Not to mention actually going through the trouble of faking a picture. Afterwards, I had to hack a dozen websites to delete all of the related articles. And now you had it printed on paper? I didn't know who was more despicable in this whole ordeal. In any case, the more despicable the story was, the faster it traveled. People would always believe this kind of garbage. People in the arcade were starting to stare at me. I knew they had not just come here for the tournament today. What? Did you expect me to tear the paper into pieces and make a scene? Screw you, you little punk. I stuffed the newspaper into the bag with my prize and walked out of the arcade. It was drizzling outside. Life is Good was playing in my headphones. Life is Good by Cam Meekins? This music doesn't sound like it, but I decided to not take a cab and just walk back to my apartment. Ah, nice little walk. I bumped into a few people, but nobody gave me any trouble or even a second look. Yeah, why bother myself with other people's opinions? This was my life, the one that I had always wanted. Well, good for you, Jimmy. Good for fucking you. Well, on that note, I'm going to end this episode here. I have been slowing down just a little bit on this game, but that is because it is so far the longest running series. I do want to finish this game and get it done, but there's also so much left, so this game's going to keep going on for a little bit longer. I'm assuming this means I'm about halfway done with it. Something was in my throat there. That was a little bit weird. But, like I said, I do want to get it done. I'm just being a little bit slower with it, trying to focus on some other series that I've got going on right now. The Cry of Fear series, namely, but also the new series, The Crooked Man, that I just started. Hopefully you guys like those series, and I'm also going to be, I'm going to start posting Fortnite, Realm Royale, and Heroes of the Storm over on Twitch. I'll place a link down below, and I'm also going to be posting highlights over here on this channel, the full gameplay over on Twitch, just to clarify there. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. You guys are what make my channel. You guys are what are helping me to grow. I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.